Let's slow this down right here and let's basically watch this frame by frame. Let's watch this frame by frame. So, Bria Hartley is throwing a pass right here. Kelsey Mitchell helps in. Sophie Cunningham, in fairness, is not fully helped over. Sophie Cunningham should be a step or two out in this scenario. And Bria Hartley goes and rises. Sophie Cunningham should be a little bit more over. She throws the pass. She is off balance by the looks of things here. She kind of falls and
Sophie Cunningham suffered an injury during last night's game, creating significant discussion within basketball circles. The incident occurred when Bria Hartley attempted a layup and subsequently made contact with Cunningham's leg area. Examining the play in detail reveals Hartley driving toward the basket and making a pass attempt. As she threw the ball, Hartley appeared to lose her balance and fell onto Cunningham's lower extremity. Breaking down the sequence frame by frame shows Hartley rising for the shot while Kelsey Mitchell provided defensive help. Cunningham's positioning could have been slightly better, perhaps a step or two further away from the action.
she kind of falls and then takes Sophie Cunningham down with her. It's hard to tell. And like, look, this is one of those things where it's like, if this wasn't Bria Hartley, I don't think anyone would be questioning if this whether or not this was intentional. And then I've seen this one right here, Bria Hartley after it, where she's smiling, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. Like,
The controversial aspect centers around Hartley's facial expression following the collision. Video footage captured her appearing to smile after the contact occurred, leading to speculation about whether the play was deliberate. However, analyzing this expression requires careful consideration of context and timing. Many observers believe people are reading too deeply into facial expressions and body language. Unintentional contact happens frequently in basketball, and attributing malicious intent based solely on post-incident reactions may be unfair. The reality is that if any other player had been involved in this exact same scenario, questions about intentionality likely wouldn't arise.
like I think it's one of those things where people are looking people are looking too much into things. Smiling or not, nothing intentional happens in basketball. Now, on the other hand, Sophie hard fouling a player, like, yeah, she got called for attack. Like, I think we're looking too much into this. I think we are looking too much into this. Like Bria Hartley smiling after Sophie Cunningham ending up getting injured. I don't. I just don't think that.
Hartley's body control during the sequence suggests she genuinely lost balance rather than deliberately targeting Cunningham. The contact appeared to occur through her leg, and Cunningham's subsequent reaction, holding her knee area, indicates a potentially serious patellar injury. Medical assessment will determine whether this represents a severe tear or simply a bad bruise that could allow playoff participation. The fall pattern shows Hartley's momentum carrying her forward after leg-to-leg contact with Mitchell caused her to stumble. Proving deliberate intent in such situations proves extremely difficult, and even characterizing the play as reckless seems questionable given the circumstances. Hartley has faced criticism for aggressive play throughout her career, but this particular incident appears to be an unfortunate accident.
I just don't think that this is a malicious play. I'm sorry, like, I don't think Bria Hartley has good enough body control to take her out like that, especially because she plowed through her leg. Like, it looks probably, with the way Sophie Cunningham's gone down holding her patella tendon, it's probably could be a patella. Ideally, it could just be a really bad contusion, which means Sophie Cunningham's back for the playoffs.
The video evidence shows her hitting the ground hard as well, suggesting she experienced significant impact during the collision. Context matters when evaluating such incidents. Cunningham has endured multiple questionable plays this season, including what appeared to be a wrestling-style takedown by Kiki Fane during preseason action. She also absorbed hard contact from other players, took elbows to the face, and received rough treatment from JC Sheldon on previous occasions. Some of these incidents showed clearer signs of intentional contact.
Means Sophie Cunningham's back for the playoffs. Like, for me, I would say it's as like there is a chance that Sophie Cunningham comes back this season. Likely no, but I think there's a chance. I think there is a chance. But the reality of the situation is that this is no one would question this play if it was anyone other than Bria Hartley. This would not be a question. Like, this does not look. I'm
Recent injury history includes Cunningham stepping on teammate Aaliyah Boston's ankle during their last game against the Sun, demonstrating how quickly basketball injuries can occur without malicious intent. The referees throughout the season have made questionable calls affecting Indiana's team more than others, creating an environment where fans scrutinize every play for potential bias. This incident differs from clearly problematic plays like Sheldon's reckless jump through another player's legs or deliberate strikes to players' faces. Unlike situations where multiple players appeared to target specific individuals or celebrations that seemed inappropriate given the circumstances, this appears to be standard basketball contact with an unfortunate outcome. The most concerning aspect remains the potential severity of Cunningham's injury and its timing relative to playoff preparations.
not look. I'm sorry. This literally just looks like it looks as if anything, she fell because Kelsey Mitchell turned her body here. If anything, the fall is from a leg to leg, is from a left leg contact with Kelsey Mitchell, and she just kind of fell through. Like, it's really hard to prove intent on this. Like, and I think it is, as much as I think, I think it's even hard to argue this is reckless from Bria Hartley. Like, people are like, oh, it's targeted, it's reckless. Like,
losing a key contributor at this crucial point in the season significantly impacts team dynamics and championship aspirations. Medical evaluation will determine recovery timeline and availability for postseason play. Basketball involves frequent physical contact, and distinguishing between accidental collisions and deliberate targeting requires careful analysis of multiple factors. While Hartley's reputation and post-incident expressions raise questions, the play itself appears consistent with typical basketball contact rather than intentional harm. The unfortunate result, potentially season-ending injury to an important player, doesn't necessarily indicate malicious intent behind the original contact.
people are like, oh, it's targeted, it's reckless. Like, I don't even think this is reckless. I think she just fell. I think Bria Hartley's a reckless player. I think Bria Hartley's been a dirty player in her career. I think she just fell. Like, the more and more I watch this, I'm just like, I think she just fell. And I think we are talking about it where it's like situations where the refereeing's been so bad in the WNBA. It's been so bad that we're looking to blame the referees for everything. And I think there's
The Dallas Wings secured a victory against the Indiana Fever recently, showcasing their strategic roster construction. Dallas appears to be assembling a Connecticut-style lineup designed specifically to complement Paige Beckers, a talented athlete who, while skilled, doesn't quite match Caitlin Clark's caliber. Examining Indiana's roster composition around Clark reveals some concerning choices. Natasha Howard presents an interesting case. She shares inspirational religious content and maintains a positive social media presence, being married to a woman while adopting masculine presentation. Despite personal appreciation for Howard's character and online messaging, her fit within the team culture seems questionable, especially considering the addition of Dana Evans.
there's logic to that. Like, there's logic to going out there and just trying to blame referees and going at referees when it comes to WNBA, because the refereeing is horrendous. But in this scenario, I think you're looking too much into this. It was like when people were saying Marina Mabry celebrating with a 3 to the dome with the Carmelo Anthony celebration. Like, Marina Mabry, I'm even going to get a picture of this up. Marina Mabry doing the Carmelo Anthony celebration was
Evans represents a particularly problematic acquisition. This activist arrived with attitude issues before departing for Phoenix Mercury, displaying apparent hostility toward white teammates, including Lexi Hull, Clark, and Sophie Cunningham during recent matchups. The decision to recruit someone with such obvious interpersonal conflicts raises questions about coaching judgment. Head coach Stephanie White's choices suggest potential blind spots in team building. The organization's leadership appears determined to force Clark and the Fever into alignment with certain political agendas, creating cultural tensions rather than focusing purely on basketball excellence.
Don't have a real problem with her, but just not the right fit for the culture, particularly if you also bring in DeWanna Bonner, who's a hardcore Alphabet Mafia soldier, who came here, threw a tantrum, and left, and now plays for the Phoenix Mercury. And clearly in their last game, you can tell she got a problem with white girls. She don't like Lexi Hull. She don't like Caitlin Clark. She don't like Sophie Cunningham. Why did you bring that? And when I say Stephanie White, it's like, why would you bring that to the team?
Clark thrived at Iowa under Lisa Bluter's guidance, where the environment resembled more of a mainstream pop culture atmosphere rather than an edgier hip-hop vibe. Building a similar wholesome team culture around Clark would better serve her development and performance. Sophie Cunningham stands out as the sole teammate willing to physically defend Clark against aggressive opponents. Her martial arts background and fearless attitude toward confronting hostile players deserves recognition. The roster needs more players with similar protective instincts and loyalty.
You bring that, and when I say Stephanie White, it's like, why would you bring that to the team? You coached DeWanna Bonner. You got to know what you're bringing to the organization. But perhaps you have a blind spot, Stephanie White, because you're part of the Alphabet Soldier team. And so you want it, and the front office, the people above you, they want Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever to bow to the Alphabet Mafia.
The departure of Erica Wheeler represents a missed opportunity. Despite her personal lifestyle choices, Wheeler consistently supported Clark and contributed positively to team chemistry. Current teammates offer superficial support without genuine backing when situations become heated. Recent injury issues affecting Sydney Coulson and Ari McDonald led to the emergency signing of Odyssey Sims. While Sims previously spoke respectfully about Clark during opposing matchups, immediately inserting an unsigned free agent into significant playing time proves problematic.
And to make sure they're a team that's in alignment with the Alphabet Mafia. You hear it, I'm just keeping it 100% transparent and real. I'm not trying to be offensive. I don't want to trigger the Alphabet crew. But if Caitlin Clark is your star player, and you just watched her at Iowa under Lisa Bluter, who's married and who built a team that is more tailored.
Sims logged 13 minutes despite being clearly unprepared physically and mentally. Her performance statistics were concerning, missing all 4 shot attempts, posting a -4 rating, and committing careless turnovers. One particular sequence saw her fail to move toward an inbound pass, allowing Quinn Ewers to easily steal and score. Such fundamental errors demonstrate the futility of rushing unprepared players into meaningful minutes. The previous game had already proven that Cunningham and Kelsey Mitchell could effectively share point guard duties without needing a traditional floor general.
And who built a team that is more Taylor Swift than Megan Thee Stallion. Put a Taylor Swift team around Caitlin Clark. There's a reason why Sophie Cunningham has been the only one to aggressively and physically step up and be like, I got Caitlin's back. I'll fight all you be. I'm not going to say it, but, that's what she's, she takes Kung Fu or, she's a black belt in karate or something.
This success made the Sims experiment even more puzzling and unnecessary. White's post-game analysis revealed her disconnect from on-court reality. She blamed defensive attention to detail and transition breakdowns while failing to acknowledge her own personnel decisions. Her obsession with having a controllable point guard who follows her exact offensive schemes clouds her judgment about what actually works. Her explanation focused on organizational issues and ball pressure while ignoring the obvious solution demonstrated just one game earlier.
That's what she's, she takes Kung Fu or, she's a black belt in karate or something, and she ain't scared of none of these angry black queens. Hats off to Sophie Cunningham. Love you. We needed more of that. And I felt, and that during the offseason, I was like, now I'm going to shock you with this take. They should have never let Erica Wheeler go. And she's Alphabet, but she had Caitlin Clark's back. Great for the morale and chemistry around Caitlin Clark. These other girls, they got Caitlin's back, but
Mitchell had excelled at the point position, recording 8 assists and over 20 points in a masterful performance. Yet White abandoned this successful formula to accommodate a street free agent pickup. The timing makes this decision even more questionable. 3 quarters through the WNBA season, signing someone who hadn't been on any roster suggests desperation rather than strategy. Then immediately throwing her into extended minutes without proper preparation sets everyone up for failure.
These other girls, they got Caitlin's back, but they don't really have Caitlin's back. And so last night, they brought in, because of injuries to Sydney Colson and R.A. McDonald, they brought in a new point guard, Odyssey Sims. I kind of like Odyssey Sims. When she was on an opposing team, she had nice things to say about Caitlin Clark. But there's no way I'm bringing in an off-the-street free agent and throwing her immediately out there into the...
These extra minutes given to Sims directly reduced playing time for Lexi Hull, the team's premier defensive specialist, and their version of Dennis Rodman with occasional scoring bursts. Hull managed only 24 minutes, despite being one of the few players with strongly positive impact metrics, posting either a +10 or +14 rating. Hull's defensive prowess became evident in the fourth quarter when she shut down Paige Beckers in individual coverage. This allowed Indiana to overcome a 17-point deficit and nearly steal the victory. Yet White consistently undervalues Hull's contributions, particularly her defensive impact, even when her three-point shooting struggles.
Her immediately out there into the rotation to the extent of 13 minutes last night. I think her plus minus was -14. She missed all 4 shots she took. She had some horrible turnovers. She wasn't game ready. From a physical standpoint, she looks a little overweight. And just from an energy and urgency, there was some sort of inbounds pass where she didn't move towards the basketball. And I think the girl's name, Quinn Early or whatever, stole.
White's coaching decisions reflect someone disconnected from game flow and player strengths. She operates like someone wearing a costume rather than understanding basketball fundamentals. Sims should remain an emergency option only, used when absolutely necessary rather than as a regular rotation piece. When Clark returns from her absence, the rotation should focus on proven contributors who've demonstrated commitment and chemistry. The core group includes Hull, Cunningham, Mitchell, Alia Boston, and yes, even Howard despite cultural concerns.
Basketball, and I think the girl's name, Quinn Early or whatever, stole the ball from her easily and got a layup. And I'm just, this girl ain't ready. Why Stephanie White got her out here for 13, 14 minutes? This is insanity. No way someone coming off the street should be out there for that many minutes in their initial game. They're not ready mentally or physically. Ease them in, or I wouldn't even have played her, because the night before they just proved with Sophie Cunningham and Kelsey Mitchell.
Damaris Dantas provides reliable interior presence when focused on her strengths rather than attempting three-point shots. Adding rookie KK Arnold to this foundation while tightening the rotation makes more sense than experimenting with unknown quantities. The focus should remain on maximizing Clark's impact rather than pursuing coaching pet projects that distract from winning basketball. The organization faces mounting pressure to succeed with their generational talent. Continued poor decisions that waste Clark's prime years will inevitably lead to coaching changes and front office upheaval.